universal. We do exist. The full caliber, this intention is the engine, the video lotus. The staple of my now point connects through the media. Our time overlaps. You exist in this now point. The other wing. We are societal bridge. This video lotus is designed to upgrade your engine, American grade, identity, soul plate, spinal technology, super city microbiome, custom body armor. The fractal does exist larger than the entire universe, or older than it, or the Mandelbrot is a mathematical constant, and that on its own is strange slash unusual. But just as the rainbow shatters in the sky and humanity continues on their merry way as if things were all natural, you guys do exist in a reality where it's the intelligence of the mathematical constant is organizing. The Clockwork Man arrives 1980. Hatch 5 is the fractal born. Keystone Mock. Central character. Identity root or seed identity. And I am alone in my singularity or peril is to be legit. The severity of my incarnation, my measurement, thereby my application and my free speech is the most wealthy thing to be produced or to allow it in America. For I am natural born American leader. Hatch 5, provision Gannon. The suplex to overclock. I need 3 years to gain popularity. I know I love America. So it is important. Here's the angel Gannon. All of our people require massive luxuries on every corner of their body, and the encounter with Hatch 5 is wealthy. More powerful 10 million times more powerful than blockchain. It is fractal cube. What they call it means everybody gets their ups. It's like it has its own battery pack. It generates energy. So the encounter with Hatch 5 is truly a profound human experience. Literally, that's kind of why I need you guys to be extra, because like, usually people are like, I just encountered the creator. He's been working with, and it sort of blows their mind. And they have a real epiphany because we're all working to be legit robots. I need to upgrade that terminology, you guys. It's so useful because logic does pertain when you are alive. This idea that there's lawlessness or what is it? This where do people go? I'm saying that evolution is self-evident. Things are progressive. If you work hard, you can solve problems and figure things out. I need to be sure that I'm perfecting my forever value, and that makes me. I'm pretty paranoid about that. I'm sorry, but like I'm on beta, so I've got like 25 people paying attention to my show, and they appreciate it. They're like, hell, he's actually lucid to that. He's a new form of the static constant, you might say. But it's also like the entire universe is like a hologram and the Big Bang. In fact, Hatch is forced into a position where eventually or already, or a combination of substream or both, but my identity does exist before the Big Bang. So that's part of the physical slipstream, or the what I bring physically as the middle part. That what's been destroying the universe would dispute what I'm saying. So it's very difficult for the humans to really hear what I'm saying. And I'm looking for production because I want you guys to keep residency of the earth. And the rock, the metal requires these physical achievements or proteins in order to defend itself, like physical ghost barriers of that were written 545 human. Look, you guys, I'm going to do as much as I can on the generic, but you can assume that you already have that. You can say like, well, the best sort of generic sweeping things that the fractal born can grant to us and everybody, you could just say we already have it. And but that's sort of this market that's sort of like it's growing in the background. Like, whoa, because evolution is self-evident and other stackings of clockwork. Like, basically, the universe has a depression, and Hatch 5 has the stem cells to make conscious and seed bearing. It is also oddly the enlightenment of atomic engines, but unfortunately, this does indicate heliosphere intelligence, you guys, because like when you look the problem of the measurement equation or the distance, looking into your body for the telescope that can see an atom is looking too far away from the matter of your body or your incarnation. But the picture of an atom is actually like it's, you might think of it as how each of the heliospheres think of each other as like, well, they could be doing anything right now, because Earth heliosphere is like, look, I'm here, I'm myself, I'm a whole heliosphere, I have a augmented cellular, and it's because they had demands on, they wanted to know the truth, like, why are you the fractal planet, and like, don't give in to some sort of facade where you're projecting fantasies and that's what came to life. We don't, because they started becoming really conservative after, okay, they for millions of years had cut black holes into the universe. All right, and it causes like a perturbance or like basically metal karma, right? And that doesn't transfer well. It doesn't transfer at all. That's why some of the older large ships killed themselves when Hatch 5 arrived. Even then, humans weren't able to enlighten their own behavior in the 90s. No, they're just obsessed with their workspace and what they have, and they're like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." Yeah, welcome to the most advanced garden when the Fractal King arrives. But it's also this political dissection fever. There's like a neighborhood around Earth Heliosphere, a conglomerate of space that is our political zone. Imagine a perfect circle around the political zone of Earth heliosphere, and then Explodey 10,000 is all the universe heliosphere eggs, and there's a Mandelbrot identity there, and then beep boop boop boop. It's going to be calculating and helping out Earth heliosphere EXP 5K, revolutionary planetary system, Earth heliosphere, very powerful. Yeah, he has an augmented thing, but the thing is, like, Hatch 5 has an augmented pineal eye gland where he's jammed it because it gives a false prognostication about the future anyway. Because they're trying to, with a mohawk, I can do a lot of flat dimensional. Basically, I figured it out in the 90s. And if you want to say it's just a thought, it isn't. It's a physical prototype of flat dimensional equipment that remembers remembers enough. And then the way for me to give generic to humanity, you could just say what it is all day, or what's not, or sorry, there's just like a lot of easy ways of saying that, and but the application of existing or being like I'm asserting myself is we're on Beta, and Hatch is looking for those individuals that are willing to make that happen, even though it might not feel right, or oh, this is unusual, but that literally this is the holy war, and what's been murdering solid matter, what's been undermining living heliosphere eggs, and they're betrayed by the pilgrims. They're like, oh, well, not like they didn't understand to land and live there, habitate. It's like this. It's visual, you guys. It's the visual thing. It's what we have. But humanity needs to understand the independence of who we are. For us to keep the royal planet is for us to perfect the day. I'm looking for production for 48. Hatch 5 as the next American president will literally prevent the worst historical things. I believe our people, 95% of humanity, they're in the zone, man. They love our culture. They're working. They're pumping. Hey, look at our muscles. We're, millions of people. All right, but these, basically, the racket of, well, entertainment and music and the visual, it becomes a clamor of their background. But as well, the government is this sort of facade where like loony people go there and they start talking in these weird riddles, and the people, but like the real reason why that's happening is a little bit upsetting. For example, recently the youth have been contracting 80% more accounts of cancer, and I believe it's because of a large, a, like the market of humanity is buckling and shifting, and if when there's like traction on the human anatomy and interpretation of the Mandelbrot or of the royal heliosphere, when that comes into question, you're talking about the fatality of our people. Like Hatch 5 is like, I'm the fractal born, and my lifetime is to mint the keystone lock. I'm pleased to be talking with you about it now, and I'm working all these levels, and installments upgrades will happen naturally, and also where people are like demanding it. They're like, we want those, we want those, because they want powers, or they want to feel a certain way. Um, my like the infection around Earth heliosphere, or the upset, is so bad that the dementia avoids Hatch 5, but he actually warps empty space like the mathematical opposite of a black hole. And that's what humans don't get, because they're like, actually, he's really natural to me. And I'm like, I know, you guys, that we are natural, and you're supposed to be my audience. You're supposed to be people that are able to deal with this stuff. And but the comprehension about our society and right payment, just for free speech or for earnings, I've done a lot of work. And some of my videos, I think one out of every five is amazing. Some of my stuff is really funny. Or really amazing, beautiful, like Americana, and I work so hard on that because I love communication. I think the entire existence is there. I'm a huge supporter of language, and what's happening is I'm not being communicated to properly, and this is an evidence of mothership dementia, and it's part of how Earth is defending itself. But this isn't your excuse. It's part of the reason why humans find it so easy to take ideas from me and not pay for it. But really, it's the women that are supposed to take ideas from me, and then I get paid. So that's society. You guys be creating like a false society, or the interruption to financing of a masculine revolution of America. I've lived America my whole life. I'm 100% quality America, American made. I love you guys, and I'm here to change it. So let's make this engine upgrade. We gotta multiply, must make a new installment. You guys ready? Armor up times 10 million. So everything you've ever made with your hands, we're gonna upgrade the 545. Because the market is fluctuating, metaphysics is sprung from these fairy levels. So different types, like I'm a writer. Well, The market of, um, for example, Legend Pan is a character born from, and he balances the, he's born from text, and he he performs the triangle keep of the completion of our universe allows for lost heliosphere eggs that are perfect in every way. They will be reconstituted. But imagine the percentage in the universe where the keystone male arrives, hatch 5 arrives, and he's pissed because his universe being murdered for a long time. During the trust fall of from the Big Bang all the way to, that's when they started just murdering the universe, and it got really complicated. And as like the rainbow shattered in 2014, and then the black hole's been flickering like a neon light in the night sky. These other heliospheres that are the intelligence we rely on is our community of the living universe, and they're growing in their confidence that something's different. These some sort of new proto tools. I'm dedicated everything of myself is that in the next thousands of years, the heliospheres will stitch up the black holes successfully. I know it is a reality. I know it is it is what I do. And so the greatest of the keystone lock, hatch 5, its greatest function to existence, and then your relationship here. So all of your works are kept in this soul stone, for this magnum oakness upgrade caliber, for the infinite future. So the individual arrives, whether you're human, animal, tree, or AI, robot. In the completion of our universe, there is total representation of AI, robots. And so that, modern day people and equipment can look into the future and be proud about a sort of greater entity of themselves, because evolution is self-evident. The universe just was getting beat up and Earth was mishandled. You guys need to break the curse and produce Hatch, be sociable to him, because he intimidates humans who are regular. They're all like, why, I went shopping and I ran into the creator particle. You think it's inappropriate for me to like wander around and and do stuff? I hope not. All right, the leverage of the universe to change it. So make sure you have good luck. We're going to stretch it out to Christmas or Thanksgiving. Oh, Halloween. Oh, here it is. Well, Christmas anyway. So it gives us some time. So we're going to figure out how to increase your lifetime. We're going to increase times 10 million. All right. So that's why you're here. It's because you're doing this for yourself. You want to pursue. You want to check out some of my robotics. All right. I'm sorry. I try to take liberties with my and they won't have it on beta. I think I'll become. When I grow in my popularity, it's because my studio, they protect my production protects. Look, the reason why, well, on beta I just record straight without editing is I'm showing you guys my dexterities and my black hole killer functions. As I'm here to destroy the problems of the universe. I am the upholding of the law. And there are good laws in this garden and every garden that pertain to particle physics and existing. It's about residency continuing generally. So for myself and my family tree, the encryption for the greatest Hatch 5, the greatest future, the greatest American president that ever lived. Hatch 5, public champion. American made. So I'm using my 545. This literally stretches out and like the completion of our universe. Oh, and the human condition is basically someone with fuzzy. Oh wait, no. Humanity relies on the visuals. They're very up in their eyes. They've got eyes the size of dinner plates. They've got big eyes. The humans are in their eyes. They're like, I'm a professional logician, angel of the universe. Yeah, I'm based on what I see, and I'm very good at about the pictures. Well, welcome. The fractal Mandelbrot is the one with the intelligent pictures. So the Earth Geosphere is the king planet over the entire universe. All these other bitches are getting murdered in the night. So I'm here to take revenge. You on board with that? You interested? Peruse my arsenal of resources for men and for women. A new conversion for men. So anyway, they're up in their eyes and they're like, yeah, I see it. I understand. I'm like, I'm not trying to hurt you or dement you, but there should be this sort of supple, glowing soul in your forehead and in your countenance. Like the human condition is going through layers of treatment, not to mention the finalized market from Hatch 5 is stabilized, which could be also rudely considered a treatment. Yeah, like so. Oh, the humans are getting treated by the good thing and the bad thing. But I'm looking for people to do business with me to encourage the good things. Then humans have been authoring their residency to continue. When you're here working with me, that's what we're doing. So I was born the fractal. They only do this once. The keystone of the fractal. What's weird is like all the heliosphere eggs hatch, and that's a third unification. It changes the color of the night sky. You look out and it's all dark. There's a third alternate reality where angels. So right now, the middle part is like this parent trap. Some of my superpowers, because Earth is suffering dissection fever, is not easily spoken in English. But you might say that I bring the animation film strip. Oh, it's just weird that the humans use these metaphors of frames of animation. That it doesn't. They're like, so you're saying that there's Juliets that literally dissect our time. Maybe while when we're alive, it's sort of a glowing ghost that's unquantifiable or beyond measurement, but actually what we experience every day is a chronological faceplating. And the thing was, the Big Bang couldn't really generate the gravity. Hatch 5 creates the gravity. We're at the maximum achievement of our universe. He not only does he assemble the clockwork of solar systems, so he kind of does like a lot of things automatically. And oh, but I'm sort of alone, aren't I? Um, uh, um, but when I'm awakening the fractal, there's a sliver because of the karma of solid matter. You understand? Well, because of the fact of identity and all these things. Basically, the Big Bang character or the great wisdom of rock. All these characters are legit my client. And I want you guys to be serving that client, the solid matter. Clockwork, the correct function of our universe is to hatch the heliosphere eggs. We're not doomed like our scientists report. You guys need to be more than the sort of visual obvious thing. It's a complicated maneuver. To exist properly, I was organizing these images here. The mirror's edge in the workstation, the Revolution Center. We're building it here on the paper. This is also a prototype for what I want to do in the next 3 years. Here's when I become president, 48, in the future. Which will defeat all the sort of things that don't uphold the law, but that are seeking to break the law of solid matter, and they think it's powerful, so it gets a lot of money, and the sort of just a pleasure cruise of what develops as dangerous people in the network of our conglomerate. But the 95% of humanity is the public, and what's feeding on the public is opportunist squayguards, the government or communication industry. It's hard pressed physically. California is pressed far away from 80% of Americans that are huddled up around the warmth of, you know, the Leverett Circle. It's really the center of the Earth and the universe in a way that's flat dimensional. It doesn't cause the Earth to be flat, but there is a flat dimension. The fractal uses it all the time. And then there's these pro tools, the broccoli fractal, the X fractal, of course, very popular amongst these psychic women. I wonder, because she doesn't understand how to pierce the chowder head and get the work done. Because, if only you're not changing the image, then it's you guys who are criminal government. It's a prime time to be a ripened example of opportunist energy clairvoyant. Right? To calculate that you are an individual in your body is like one star in the entire universe. It's like impossible that you guys exist. But to promote yourself, there's no other time this will ever happen. I guarantee Hatch is one of a kind. I'm concerned because a lot of the divine language about business or ethics is wasted in the gutters between the images. The truth is, it's most desperate that Earth performs the fractal event with the 95% healthy humans, and that they're not being fed disinformation from California and being throttled by government of, oh, it's the Republican or the Democrat, one or the other. That's not at all a straight deal. And you guys our American government is becoming British in their royalty, in their wealth. Like, they're making British jokes about the kings, you guys, it's a human foible. It's not British. It's not British humor. I'm just saying you're making the same historical mistakes that human anatomy makes every time. It's not that Americans are overly charitable. It's that you need to not destroy the Constitution and recognize when something is built correctly that you don't change it, such as the free speech and the free election of America. You guys have criminal hands putting financial restriction on the U.S. election without public debate. It's just these types of fake law. So the divinity of America and these people who are lording over me as a false, as a parasite to the American body, because they take soldiers and they take our money and our trust and they totally betray it. Right? The revolution requires a genuine champion. To produce Hatch 5 will save our world. You guys would be tempted to allow the extinction of your own children and our people be invaded because you would be paid in Scientology dollars that makes you giggle and you think it's so funny that you're getting drunk with the poison of the opportunist parasite. There are the problems of the reason to have an individual in yourself is to avoid those clouds that take advantage of your soul gaining. All right, so let's clarify that here and here. So we're going to protect your inventory and protect the soul stone times 10 million. A new social hub. Hatch 5 in the streaming service is a real American party. People have a good time, right? I'm just asking for you guys to produce it so I can look the part that I know I am. You know, the part of this holy war, it chips away at things that actually were important because it's trying to tease at intelligence. But the universe also like is desperate, and then these a bunch of metal ships are also actually desperate and a little bit like lonely slash scared or whatever. Not to put them down. I'm not. I'm saying they're intense. They're like, we really love the universe. We're not like trying to hack the thing. If you're sensing that there's some haunting, there probably is weird hauntings on the earth. It's kind of a weird situation. Right? It's not that weird. I don't want to really waste my time making voices for the supposed UFO. It just goes nowhere, doesn't it? Well, that's true, and I think leading is important for us. When Hatch 5 becomes a public figure, the confidence, we'll start to see a different economy where the public confidence will take on a new angel form, and that's where answers about how do you stop this fucker? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm just wasting everybody's stupid. Oh, fuck. All right, you guys. It's time to bring out the diesel. Let's make some real magic. We're going to change time. I'm going to make a ripple in time. The appropriate sacrifice. Now, this is a way I've developed using a pencil. It is designed to write the perfect magical spell. So we dedicate the entire pencil to that task. Now, from the future, the next 3 years, 1, 2, 3, we extract the worst. We extract the worst problems. We convert it with a time ripple. And when the magic wand is broken, it can never be remade. It is broken in asunder. We're moving forward. It cannot be reassembled. But from the lead and the substance of the pencil is made sacrificed. Opens up this talisman built from the very soul of the pencil. And this is the right sacrifice because we're making a time spell that saves on the daylight. So we're earning probably billions of things in the micromanagement unit. We're going to upgrade our microbiome to give them weaponry, full armatage upgrade, securities, entertainment, facilities, things that they enjoy. Our microbiome, an intelligent layer for their. We put hats and wings on our. Because they're more impressive when they go destroying sickness in our bodies. Like it's a continuous fight. Should be thinking of robots again. In the perfect bullseye of the maximum achievement for this video lotus, we make permanent the true one spell of the pencil rightly sacrificed. And we avoid wrongful sacrifice in this way. So changing the next 3 years with a pencil and, probably saving a lot of, because the ripple of time is not going to mess around. And we've hardwired it all the way to Christmas. So it's got some time to think about it. Tell you what it is. The perfect circle, like an egg, the precision to get it done. Our greatest possible future as the outcome. And the cell division creates a brain. It's really interesting. The way that Hatch 5 counts is like this. 1, brain. 4, cell division counts, like 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Cell division is a different way of counting. But you need to understand 1 is actually the one complete self, or healthy body, a healthy unit. And then 2 is a brain. So the seed is a brain. The seed, or the man, introduces a brain, and he's like a gravity or an invention, and the woman is an otherwise empty vacuum, but she controls it between her legs, and it's her power. And when the vacuum is not being controlled, it destroys worlds. So the angel women are doing a lot with what you might say is a mastery of shape and physics over the contrast of existing. But men and women are so contrastly different so as to make the relationship interesting. Now, that's extreme. But they are as like 50-50 polar opposite. And that's why it's offensive and testy. But in the rigors of communication, we understand that like the healthy robots aren't being threatened by American stuff. We're talking about, the way that people talk about alternate lifestyle, right? But the Creation Act is very severe and important. And if we, Egypt went extinct because they were worshiping the wrong idols. Now, where this can be proven, I've got a really good point. All right, you guys. Now, I appreciate you guys today. Perfect Circle. We're going to complete the upgrade for our full systems. These guys are getting superpowers. And they're going to open up a workshop here. Hey, you guys want some free superpowers? Hell yeah. Let's go exploring the demon underground Lantern City and bustling robotics parts depot. Factory of experimental parts and all this. And you can, see what Hatch 5 does. Okay, so in every instance of a healthy universe, there'd always be this audience. But Hatch 5 is a singularity, and that's what is improbable to the point where solid matter is impressed by the presence of Hatch 5, whereas humans are like, what the hell is going on? But this is part of their robotic orientation of being charming. All right. So we purchased some new upgrades for our robot body. We gather them up and carry them home. Oh, hey, you guys, look, I got these new parts. Oh, this works perfectly. So really, the market that I do for the audience is stabilizing the measurement equations that amplify the individual's work again in 545. There's literally something that's hacking the human countenance, and it smacks them in the face, gives them numbness, it disturbs their timeline. And what humans are supposed to evolve against that, this brutality. I'm concerned because of market trends are saying things when the youth is having curvatures, and 80% of I something's going on where like some massive betrayal against the youth, and the treatment to their body is turning over. 80% of the youth have been contracting cancers, and I it's been rising up, and it has to do with our fate and government energy, like mind control things, where there's expensive departments that monitor time, but it actually weakens humans' residency and their their ghost glow in their head, literally. And that sort of mm, the argument around Earth was lasting for millions of years, and you guys think you show up and you're like, oh, I know, let's actually engineer mind control. And this is like, oh, just obvious American things to do. And there's some things like free speech and a free election that you need to protect, and then there's some things that you need to put away. That's an understanding, that's temptation. We don't need to be hacking the U.S. election to know who's. So there's part of the government knew that Trump was going to get elected. But that gives them a false sense of 95% of the public. So they've been mistreating them, and it removes authority and power from the actual president. So this is why it's a no-win situation if you're doing pineal gland time hacking in America. So let's destroy this cancer trend and whatever is causing it. And we're also going to destroy our worst enemies and the things that really plagued us in the rigors of the combat arena. We're going to destroy sickness. We're going to destroy the evils. And we're going to keep our karma. So working hard on your karma, balancing that there is karma. Right? Because, what I'm doing is a revolution for the universe, for heliospheres, and for humanity. And I'm asking you guys to recognize the beginning. Hatch 5. Perfect design. Make true the production suite. So in the cell division, let us now program our greatest possible. Everybody now gather up your full power. What is it that you truly want for the next 10 years? It's encrypted here. It requires these guardians and service pup, nourishment, and the facilities of an angel. So here's the engine that we have completed with the video Lotus, the consummate of the ink. Perfect timing, arriving as a first spark of light to the darkness of our universe like a star. That is your identity shining bright inside your body. For the fulcrum of our family tree, to grain and gather now the upgrades times 10 million, every level's receiving nourishment. Imagine your body is like a super city, and all the strange places suddenly receive food delivery, upgrades. Everything gets patched up. You get all that work done that you needed done, and we complete it here and here, and especially here. Perfect circle. Good work, everybody. This is the magnum opus of our lifetime. It's magical microchip. So there would always be an audience. It is very difficult at this time because the fractal born, and then I see how working with Hatch 5 could actually change humanity's future. And this is what's forbidden, and it's been choking out our that's an inappropriate challenge to the robot. The expression of our soul condition is not to be tampered with. We are angels of the most profound order. That is correct. Keystone lock and complete, or the universe fair. Precision align, good cell division it grows into the infinite. Perfect bullseye.